Growing up poor in the deep south meant sharing a lot with my little brother, Ollie. Most often we'd pass toys, clothes and skin conditions between us, up until he was 6. We even shared a bed. Neither of us were happy about it. It was my 10th birthday when that changed. I got one present that year that was a bed of my own. Ollie was jealous right away, and I could understand why. He had to keep that half broken down frame with the worn out mattress. The one I'd gotten wasn't much better. Not being broken and worn was enough. The sleeping part was a great feeling. It was freedom. No longer would I have to suffer the sudden and inexplicable kicks to the stomach. No longer would I wake up with Ollie's foot pressed into my neck like he'd stepped on Dracula the night before. At least that's what I thought. Right away, right after I got the new bed, the shriek started. At first I thought Ollie woke up in the middle of the night and screamed because he gotten scared. But then the sound echoed through the tiny room again. I knew it wasn't a normal cry. The room was always black as pitch after sunset. The one window we had pressed against a long leaf pine, and even the biggest, brightest moon cast no light inside. The shriek just about drove me crazy. Every night, probably at the same exact time, these sharp yelps would knock me right out of my dreams. It wasn't my mom or dad yelling either. I knew what it sounded like, believe me. Most worrying of all was the fact that I could never tell where it was coming from. It seemed completely random. One night I'd come home from somewhere near the closet. The next I'd shoot out from a corner of the ceiling. Any hope I'd have of living my own space would get dashed every time, as Ollie would silently slip into the bed with me, shaking like crazy. He'd clasp onto me and I wouldn't let go until it was almost daybreak. Most times I'd take his hand and tell him everything was going to be okay and that it would be over by morning, but I was never really sure. Over time the shrieks started changing. At first it was only by small degrees, but eventually it took on the primal hosting sound of a primate calling out its fierce warning. I had to clasp pillows to my ears just to keep from going deaf. Mom and Dad never believed me or Ollie, basically because the thing, whatever it was, refused to make a pip when they were in the room. Apparently, they couldn't even hear it through the walls, even though it was damn sure loud enough. The shrieks just got worse and worse, until I felt like I couldn't take it anymore. Me and Ollie were doing really bad in school. We just had no energy at all. I could sleep more deeply with my head propped up, my eyes open in the middle of class than in my own room at night. Then, thankfully, we moved out of the house nearly a year later. I had complimented all sorts of things, even a child's clumsy concept of suicide, to get away from the horrific lightning noise. There was no problem at the next house. It was nice, white, cookie-cutter home on the dead-end street, and I welcomed the normalcy. What's more, when we moved there, it was a bunk bed waiting for me and Ollie. No more broken bed, no more second bed. I ended up having to share anyway. The only problem was deciding who got the top bunk. I told Ollie I deserved it after all. I'd gotten a new bed way back, and he ruined it by climbing it every night. What? He shook his head. I never did that. I had always wondered what that noise stopped at the second I was sharing my bed. Now I had the answer.